Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Um, I was just watching, um, and it's impressive how much you know about Islam. But I was curious. The title is the Quran or the Bible. Where is the truth? The title of the stream. I want to know where. How do you know the Bible is the truth?
Well, this is a question maybe you should ask yourself first. I mean, how you know the Quran is the truth? You're a Muslim, right?
Questioning Muslim. Not,
okay. Well, my friend, when I say the truth, first of all, do you believe that God, he is a good God or he's a bad God?
He's good.
Okay. So the good God, is he going to teach you to do bad?
No.
Okay. Does the Quran teach you that you can rent a woman? It's called temporary marriage.
Muta?
Yeah, the muta.
It does.
Okay. So how God is the good God? When we say the good God, this means he teaches me good ethic, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think, with my respect to you and your family, I'm not saying something to insult you. Please forgive me. I don't mean that. Do you believe that if your sister, with my respect to your sister again, let us say this is my sister, not your sister, so you won't be offended. Let us say I'm a Muslim, and my sister, she came to me and said she want to rent herself to do muta. What I will say to her? She will say to me, this is what Allah said.
Now, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Why is that?
If it's consensual, if they both agree, and there's payment, and they agree on what's going to be paid, and they go and do it, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay, but isn't it so? You don't have a problem if your sister came to you and says, "There's a guy. He offered me $10 to sleep with me for 2 hours." As long both of them they agree, it's fine for you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but isn't it this is what prostitution is about?
Yes.
So you don't have your problem that God teaching me to do prostitution?
No, no problem.
Why is that? What is your logic?
My logic is that if that's what she wants to do, and if it's not rape or it's not forced on her, if it's consensual and there's a agreement and she wants to do it, then
yeah, but
fine.
Okay. So why Muhammad, he says if somebody commit adultery, beat him? What is the difference between adultery? At least adultery, let us say a man and a woman, they see each other, maybe they love each other, and they have sex, they commit that sin. So why, if you and a woman, she agree with payment, it's okay, but the women who don't take off her panty for money, she will be punished? What is the difference? Both of them are not married.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. Let me. I'm not going to choose for you bad points about Islam, but obviously this is not an ethical, because if we spread prostitution, then even married men, they will practice that. So why we get married? If I'm going to sleep around with women, additional to my wife, any woman she offer herself, I go in the elevator, a woman she says, take me for $5, I do it. Okay? So what kind of society we will have? Right?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Now, if I am a person, what Allah is expecting from me and what I am expecting from Allah, can you help me in that? What Allah expects from you to do and what you expect Allah to do for you?
Allah expects you to pray, and to follow His orders.
To pray to whom?
And you pray to Allah. Okay,
did the Prophet order you to pray for Muhammad?
You're not praying to Muhammad. He's part of the prayer.
Yeah.
But he's not. You
are praying for Muhammad, but not to him. I understand, correct?
Right.
Okay. So why you need to pray for Muhammad?
Because he's the one who sent the message.
Okay. But do Muhammad need your prayer? Did Allah bless Muhammad already? Is Muhammad going to heaven?
No. You're not praying. I don't know whether you need for Muhammad or to Muhammad. I don't know where all this is. at the end of the day, it's praying to Allah.
Okay. You speak Arabic, right?
Not classical, the slang Arabic.
Okay, I will read and you help me if you don't understand. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Allah and the angels are praying on Muhammad. Allah, he prayed to Muhammad, but he on Muhammad actually. He prayed on Muhammad.
Hello and you're welcome to the Big Tech Show in association with Square. Square helps you look after your business needs from menu management to payments and online ordering. Visit square.com for more. Now, when people talk about quantum computing, they often move quickly to the science fiction area. They start talking about stuff like time travel or multiverses. But what is it actually really all about? What's quantum computing about? And can it take into account that science fiction stuff as well as the ordinary computing stuff that experts actually do? Well, to talk about this, I'm joined by Dr. John Gold, who's an associate professor in physics in Trinity College, Dublin. And John, before we get into that, we've just been chatting and we're actually fortunate that you're here with us at all.
That's right, yeah. I guess 2 months ago I had a near-death experience, which was unexpected. I had a cardiac arrest at a sports event, and I was lucky enough that there was the right people in the right time to kind of
get me out of that.
Well, near death, yeah. I actually died, but technically speaking, but I was brought back to life by a defibrillator, you know.
For how many minutes?
I think a few minutes. It's hard to know because by the time that they noticed that there was something up, I guess there might have been a minute, and there was another minute or two after that. So.
Do you remember anything about those minutes?
Yeah, I just remember, finishing the last workout of this competition, and watching my friends and the same team as me kind of finish it, and then I remember getting just felt a bit weak and passing out. That's basically it. And then I woke up in an ambulance. So, yeah.
I mean, we're going to get into quantum computing and physics in a few minutes, and I suggested to you beforehand that maybe you did die, or maybe this is the last second before you die, and we're in a simulation right now.
Well, I guess, I don't know. I mean, a lot of physicists were making fun of me and telling me that, I was in a superposition, as we say in quantum physics, of being dead and alive at the same time. Like, maybe you've heard of Schrodinger's cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, we might. I'm already slightly baffled, but we might get into that. I mentioned in the intro there that when we talk about quantum computing, idiots like me, not intelligent experts like you, we think of things like Marvel movies, and we think about things like time travel. In your experience, is there anything you've seen in popular movies, science fiction movies, anything like that you've thought is a fair depiction of quantum computing?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I would say in some ways reality is almost stranger than fiction. So actually in practice quantum physics can even be weirder than what's displayed on TV. But obviously there's one thing actually which might be. Like, I teach quantum information and quantum computing both at kind of undergraduate and graduate level, and one of the topics that I teach is quantum teleportation.
Teleportation.
Yeah. So it's
Star Trek now.
Well, it's not Star Trek because what quantum teleportation is, it's been around for a while actually, and there's been experiments which have fully demonstrated it.
Teleporting something from point A to point B.
Yeah. So it's not like dematerialization like you see in the movies, like nobody evaporates and reappears somewhere else, but the crucial concept of information theory is the idea that what's most fundamental in physics is the information content of something. So like in classical computing, the fundamental unit is the bit. We have a bit of information, and usually that's kind of represented as a 0 and 1. It could be an on or off in a circuit or whatever, up or down on some magnetic spin, something like this. And in quantum information theory, in quantum physics, we have something called a qubit, and a qubit forms the kind of primordial building block of a quantum computer in the same way that a bit would be the thing which forms that building block for
And to get back to the teleportation
right.
bit.
So now the question is, that information can be encoded in qubits, and a qubit is an abstract notion of a quantum bit it's an abstract notion of a bit in whereby you encode information in a quantum system, and the difference between a quantum system and a classical system is that something can be both 0 and 1 at the same time. A classical bit is either 0 or 1. A quantum bit can be 0 and 1 at the same time. So alive and dead at the same time is Schrodinger's cat, 0 and 1. And that allows you to do different things. And one of the things that you can do, pairing that with measurements, which are very peculiar in quantum mechanics, is you can actually take the state of a qubit and you can teleport it to a different location by an adequate measurement scheme. And it's that measurement scheme which has become known as quantum teleportation. But there's no dematerialization of something.
Have we come up with an adequate measurement scheme? Have we come up with the device, the process to teleport those qubits?
Yes. I mean, so this is quantum teleportation is actually something that's done routinely in laboratories around the world with photons, which would be, the qubit is encoded in light. For example, polarization degrees of freedom, say, left or right polarized, played a role of 0 and 1. And people have been interested in that for a while. It's actually kind of old news for us at the moment.
Okay, old news. Okay, so teleportation. That's off my list. Time travel.
I mean, time travel isn't really something I think that's really in the scope of quantum physics per se. It's not something that I've really thought too much about. I mean, you'd really want to talk with somebody who's an expert in kind of gravity or something like that.
Well, the National Concert Hall played Superman 1 with Christopher Reeve over the weekend, and I went to see it, and there's that scene toward the ends, and I remember even as a kid watching it, it had me scratching my head, where he's so upset and enraged about the death of Lois Lane that he goes and flies around the world so quickly that you see the Earth, it stops spinning, and then it starts spinning the other way, and it's clear he's going back in time, and he does go back in time. And so this idea has been around for quite a long time, that you can mess with time, that you can maybe pause it in some circumstance, maybe you can speed it up. And I had always understood that there was some element of quantum physics that gave that idea a bit of respect.
Yeah, I'm not so sure really. I mean, I think what I can say is that usually, time travel involves also some component of the theory of gravity, which is very large,
yes,
massful objects. And one of the interesting things from a fundamental physics perspective is that scientists haven't really cracked how to merge the theory of relativity, which describes large massful objects, and gravitation, and the theory of quantum mechanics yet. So a new theory may permit it, but it's
you've actually stumbled into the plot of Interstellar there, because the Christopher Nolan movie, because as part of that movie, that dealt with
Christopher Nolan movie. Yeah, I didn't know he directed that.
Batman.
Cool. He has the Oppenheimer movie coming up soon.
He does.
I'm actually going to do a panel in IFI on that, I think. For the premiere of it.
Okay, because you were saying to me earlier on, you weren't fully across all these science fiction news, but clearly you are.
But Oppenheimer's not science fiction, right?
No. Well, there is science in it. I don't know how much fiction there will be. One of the plot lines of Interstellar was dealt with these supermassive black holes.
Right.
So Matthew McConaughey's character, by skirting these giant black holes with their enormous gravity pulls, they messed with time. Mm-hmm. And at one point, they got into a gravity field on a planet, and the gravity was so dense that it actually, I think, a day on that planet equaled something like 6 months.
So right. Like, again, this is in the realm of somebody who'd be a cosmologist or a gravitational physicist, not really a quantum physicist, but like
they sort of intersect.
I mean, they're very different, right? I mean, relativity, which would be what you're talking about here, would be the theory really of gravity and very large massful objects, whereas quantum mechanics traditionally came out of thinking about the smallest objects in the universe.
So I know you haven't seen it, but really what you're talking about there is Ant-Man in the Marvel universe, and also one of the Avengers. And the plot of the last Avengers movie, which, by the way, I can't believe you haven't seen, but anyway, call yourself a scientist, but anyway,
no time.
The plot is that Thanos has wiped out half the universe. He clicks his fingers. However, they managed to go back in time, partly because Paul Rudd's Ant-Man character, they have mastered the miniaturization and shrinkage to such a point that he descends to a subatomic level, right, in the quantum zone or the quantum arena.
Okay.
And in that way manages to warp time. And manages to bend time.
Yeah.
Let me hit you with another one. The multiverse, the idea of multiverses. I did have someone on a couple of years ago on this podcast where it was actually a physicist, and we talked in not some depth, but I put it to him whether the multiverses could exist and whether it's likely they exist and how far we are from exploring any meaningful way of looking at multiverses. In theory, might it be possible?
I guess the idea of the multiverse or the many worlds kind of interpretation of quantum mechanics is that you'll never kind of know. So there's this thing about quantum mechanics, right? That's unusual relative to other kind of scientific theories. And it's the fact that the conscious observer, the person making measurements, is very important to the theory. So, for example, you typically expect the moon to exist if you don't look at it. Quantum mechanics, on the other hand, when you have a quantum system in the laboratory, if you're not measuring it, it can be in a different state. And when you measure it, it can appear in a certain state with complete randomness. So the act of measuring systems in quantum mechanics is really unusual.
Like a butterfly effect? The fact that you're observing it has changed its state?
Well, I think it's more like it doesn't exist until you observe it.
Okay.
So it can be undetermined, and then you measure, you get an outcome with some probability, and then following the measurement, you've prepared the state. So that's... The idea is that people have been really thinking for 100 years in how to interpret that weird thing about quantum mechanics. And one idea is that before you make a measurement, the system can be in a superposition of many different states. Then you make a measurement, you get an outcome with some probability, but in some other universe, the other thing is happening that you didn't measure. So that's where that kind of, but it's an interpretation. There's not really a way of testing it. It's just a way that people can reconcile the weirdness in their mind.
In Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, they go into this idea of the multiverse in quite a lot of detail. They do in the Avengers as well. In fact, it's becoming a main story arc in most of the DC or Marvel superhero arcs and worlds at the moment. This idea of a multiverse where there are different versions of Superman or Batman or Spider-Man or the Hulk, and sometimes they intermingle through portals. And yet it does seem likely to me that the concept of a multiverse could exist.
Yeah, I mean, actually, something's popped into my head now. Do you remember the band called the Eels in the 90s?
Yes.
So
Novocaine for the Soul.
Exactly. Susan's House was one of their hits, right? The lead singer, or one of them, I can't remember if it's the lead singer, his father invented the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. There's a great book about it.
Wow.
He was an unusual guy called Hugh Everett. And he went to the US. He studied under John Wheeler, which is a famous physicist. So it was there's a story about that, because I think he was kind of an unusual person.
There's a guy called Brian Greene. I'm not sure if you know him. He's a kind of a populist American scientist and physicist. He's a very good communicator. He does these long podcasts, sometimes his long YouTube videos. He does these TED Talks. He does these Brian Cox stage presentations as well. And he's quite interesting on the idea of multiverse on many worlds. And he would lean more toward believing that there's definitely something to it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of remain on the fence. I mean, I'm very much, you always are a something when it comes to interpretations of quantum mechanics. I think I alternate between many worlds, but also, there's also an element to me, like there's shut up and calculate, where you just stop thinking about it and just doing it. I would be always encouraging students to do that. They say the following when you study physics, that if you're interested in the interpretation of quantum mechanics before you're 40, you're a fool. And if you're not interested after 40, you're a fool. So maybe I'm just about on the precipice of getting into that. It's just
there must be moments in your life where it occurs to you more than other moments. Like, for example, you've just come through pretty singular moment in your life when something could have happened.
Yeah,
Maybe did happen in another
I,
universe.
I don't know. I mean, look. I mean, I don't know if there's any real meaning to applying ideas of quantum mechanics to.
Well, no, but I wonder all the time what would have happened if had I made different decisions. I remember visiting in the States and working in Wyoming for a couple of months in 1993, and I was on a phone call with my mother, and my mother was telling me that maybe I shouldn't come back and go to college, that because I was getting on very well in the States. Now, that was a very seminal moment in my life to choose to come back to Ireland. My life would be very different. But I'm quite sure that there is another reality where I decided not to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think that's more of the way to think about it. Like, it's like there's always these key decisions. Like, decisions are interesting, right? But often decisions are not binary. Like, black or white, or they can often be multifaceted. Like, so I think you have to kind of. There's an interesting thing, like when you think about probabilities, like how does it emerge? Like, so for example, the example I always give to students is, the population of Dublin today is whatever it is. It's a number that exists in a singular moment in time. So it's probably around this number. Okay, that's because of your ignorance that probability emerges. Like, you just don't know what the number is. You know that it exists. Quantum mechanics, probabilities emerge in a very fundamental way. It's not just that you don't know something about the system, like you have ignorance about it. It's really, it fundamentally is random, the outcome of measurements. And I think that's what's very, very difficult to get your head around. Like, really, probabilities are intrinsic to the theory.
Where does religion, if at all, fit into any of this? I mean, is it just impossible to link religion?
I think religion is something that works for some people. I'm not particularly a religious person, but it's interesting that often scientists are quite dogmatic about being atheist. There's also maybe that's a bit extreme as well. I think ultimately, let's say, even any, like, a good theory, like, is quantum mechanics a good theory, and what does that really mean? I would say it is, and the reason for that is that it allows us to make predictions which you can test from experiments. And furthermore, if an experiment comes along which doesn't match the prediction of the theory, then there's something up with the theory. So every theory needs to have in it the seeds of falsifiability. Famous philosopher called Karl Popper always talked about falsifiability. You can make up a theory, but if it's not testable or falsifiable by experiment, it's not a good theory. So, I mean, religion isn't a theory, right? It's a belief. Do you see what I mean?
I see what you mean.
In science, we don't believe. We construct theories to see if they... But there's also an element of, sometimes you get very high-level theories, which there's no way of testing them. You need energies beyond the scale of what's possible on Earth. Are they a theory if they can't really make predictions about experiments? Or are they a belief?
Okay, I'm going to just park the theoretical stuff and the superhero stuff that I've been piling on you.
It's okay.
For a moment. Will quantum... Does that have any role in giving us supercomputers? Sometimes I hear about that. We're going to get supercomputers because of quantum. IBM keep messing around with this.
Yeah, so I do a bit of work on that myself. So, one of the things that's changed, quantum mechanics is 100 years old, but one of the things that's changed in the last couple of decades is that, scientists in laboratories worldwide have been able to isolate individual quantum systems in the laboratory for kind of timescales, which would have been unprecedented, say, a couple of decades ago. And what I mean by the timescales is that quantum phenomena is fragile. To make a superposition or an entangled state, and make that state live for a long time, it's difficult, right? They have to typically cool things down, isolate them very well. And so what people realize is that if they use these quantum systems as the building blocks for logical operations, like in computer science, there are certain algorithms, that you can construct which offer speed up over known classical counterparts. Like, there's an example, like searching through a database can be made faster if you employ a quantum algorithm. The problem is on the hardware side, is that these devices are being built now largely in the multinational companies like IBM that you mentioned, Google. There's also activity in various different startups, and there's a big
Google
challenge.
use quantum to make their own email searchable properly. They could do that. The world would owe quantum a big favor.
The reality is that I think quantum computing is coming. There's already very impressive proof of principles by various research groups and industries worldwide, but it'll be very, very targeted in terms of the type of problem that it'll be applied for.
So exactly. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
So it will go hand in hand with advances in standard supercomputing, I guess. I would imagine.
But is it in a box?
Well, if you've seen, it depends on at the moment. The thing is that they don't really have a universal hardware platform for it. There's various different hardwares, like the old days in computing before the transistor.
The big tapes.
People did, vacuum tubes, mechanical things. Then the transistor came along and everything went kind of electronic.
So what are we waiting for?
Well, we're waiting. The problem at the moment is that these devices that they're building are either made from superconductors, they're made from ions, where they make the qubits out of atoms, which are trapped, and photons are another platform. But there's problems.
It's like building a nuclear bomb or something.
Well, it's not really, but it's just about controlling these highly uncontrollable systems and keeping the noise level down, because the noise that's around the laboratory, just basic stuff like air molecules, interfere with these very fragile states that they need to do things.
Not make them explode. Or
No. They collapse their wave function is the technical thing. So,
what do you tell your friends that you do?
Well, I guess that's I just say I'm a physicist, and then they think I mean physician. No, I'm just kidding. I just say I'm a scientist, and often I get annoyed because they think I'm just a teacher, but actually teaching is, although it's an important part of my job, like it's very much a small percentage of my kind of driving.
10 years time, what would you like to see? We're chatting again. And you're saying, do you remember that time we had chatted in that podcast? And I was trying to explain to you all of the things that quantum could do and the formative stages that they were at. It's 10 years' time from here. What is it that you would hope to see quantum having had achieved that we are starting to see in our own ordinary lives, in ordinary society?
Yeah, I guess you'd like to see, there's this thing called fault tolerance quantum computing, universal quantum computing. That's the idea where they could build machines that are able to correct the errors that occur. That still seems to me, if I'm a betting person, quite a long way off. It could be almost 2 decades, right? But you never know what happens technologically.
Does it go hand in hand with advances in artificial intelligence?
Everything, it goes with everything. Advances in material science, different things like that. The possibility that someone comes up with a new great idea for a hardware platform. But in the meantime, what I'd like to see, given that they have these devices now, but they're a bit noisy, is you'd like to see even those devices, the so-called noisy intermediate scale quantum devices or NISQ devices, you'd like to see them supplementing some calculations that can't be performed on, say, supercomputing architecture. Complex problems. You'd like to identify classes of complex problems in which the world's most supercomputer can't tackle.
So that system and that achievement with AI, advances in AI, we are kind of talking about the Terminator, aren't we? Aren't we?
No.
Well, we're talking about something that's way closer and more powerful than... Now, just to put this in context, I'm not one of the scaremongers on AI. I think we're going way over the top in getting freaked out about it. But the type of advanced computing that you're talking about, together with the type of advances that I expect to see in artificial intelligence in the next 10 years, that is something...
Yeah, AI is AI is interesting. You have to be not but interested in the direction that it's taking. My issue with AI is the following. I would have thought that we could kind of all stay at home and not work, and the computers would do the work for us, but it seems that we're working more and more despite all this stuff, right?
Well, that might yet happen.
Yeah, even if you go to a bank nowadays, it's not connected to AI, but there's no people in banks anymore. I think Karl Marx made the right prediction when he said that, one day even the machines would run the capitalists themselves. That seems to me what's happening, but it's an interesting point, I think, with those type of advances, AI's been. It's interesting because AI's been around as a concept for quite a long time. Like people have been working on it. I don't know, 80s, 70s. I'm not an expert in computer science, but the idea of AI has been around a while. What changed is just that we have faster processors and more compute power available. And you know, one of the things is like I've seen is these deep fakes, you know, where you can kind of make you know, an actor dies, right? And you can, if you want, you can use AI to keep them alive forever, doing the same thing. It's kind of
married with the kind of quantum computing power that may arrive in the next decade.
It may emerge. Like there's lots of people working on quantum artificial intelligence and stuff like that. But I would say quantum computing itself, again, it seems to me that you know it'll address topics which are relatively niche in the sense that it won't be useful in many problems. But in certain problems, it will be the best thing we have. So I envisage a kind of situation where if you have very hard problems to solve, you know, there might be certain parts of that problem which are portable across to the quantum architecture that provides a speed up. But
I think we have the plot for the next couple of Marvel movies. Dr. John Gold, Associate Professor in Physics at Trinity College, Dublin. Thank you very much for coming and talking us today. And that's all we have time for on the Big Tech Show this week in association with Square. Thank you very much for tuning in, for watching, or for listening. Thanks also to Tabitha Monaghan, who produced Gav Hennessy on sound and Conor Doherty on video. And we'll be with you the same time next week. Bye-bye.
Now,
Allah, he prayed for who or to who?
Sallu ala, when you say sallu ala,
Yeah.
it's not really, that's not prayer in the sense of, you know,
What is this?
إقام الصلاة أن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا yeah, يصلون على. That's the importance when you say يصلون على, it's more blessings on. Not
okay, but hold on.
Actual.
Hold on. If this is a blessing, why we are using the word yusalli? You speak Arabic. The word yusalli is salat. The word the blessing is barakah. I mean, Arabic language is very rich. It's very easy to choose words. So when I say salah is salah. When I say barakah is barakah.
And when you say yusalluna ala, you can also.
Okay, I will go with you. So according to your what you said, that Allah and the angels are doing a blessing on Muhammad.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go with you. So if Allah already blessed Muhammad, what the angels can do more? Where's the blessing coming from? Is the blessing coming from the angels, from me, from you, or from God?
The blessings, I mean, at the end of the day, if Allah wants the blessings, will happen.
That's it. So if Allah blessed Muhammad already, why I need the angels and the believers to bless me? Allah, He blessed me. I'm blessed. That's it. The rest, they are just numbers. They mean nothing.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على إن الله وملائكته يصلون. Maybe it's a message that the angels also.
Okay, let me make it more simple for you, my friend. Now, let us make a circle here. I will make a circle. And this is Muhammad in the middle. All right? Here we put Muhammad in the middle. And now we have Allah. This is Muhammad here. Now Allah is sending a blessing. All right? So let us say here, we will type the word Allah. We will make it letter A, actually A. This is Allah. All right. And this is the angel. We will make it A2. And this is the Muslims. We will use the letter M. Perfect. So, who is left? The whole universe now is busy doing one thing. Muhammad became the center of the universe, and Allah, the God, supposedly, he have nothing to do except sending a blessing non-stop, because in Arabic it says yusallun. It's as a continuous verb. You agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Allah praying or blessing, as you say, and then the angels sending blessing too, as you said, and the Muslims sending blessing, as you said. The whole universe is busy just doing one thing, praying to that dot. So what Muhammad did, he reversed the God from him being the prophet for being the God. So now Allah exists to do one thing. He is praying for Muhammad. Angels exist for one thing, praying for Muhammad. Human mankind, they exist for one thing, to pray for Muhammad. So who is this man, Muhammad?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Now, yeah, it seems like, now what is, okay, so obviously there's some confusion. Do you know what the tafsir says for this, or?
My friend, doesn't matter. It says, as you said, Allah, he prayed on the prophet, and etc., and he sent his contribution for him, and he glorify him, etc. But this is very silly, because it should be the opposite. It should be the prophet and the angels and the believers praying to Allah, not Allah and the angels and the believers praying to Muhammad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I will show you one more thing.
Oh.
But it has a connection with this, what we showed you now. If you have a fight and you have two wives, who's going to help you in the fight? How many people you need to take your side?
If you have a fight,
let us say you are married to two women. Do you need an army? Do you need who's going to help you?
I don't know.
This is between you and your wives. This is something personal. You do not need anyone, right? Aren't you man enough? Correct?
I'm not married, no.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, isn't it the man is enough to? Isn't it the Quran chapter 4 verse 34? It says, "الرجال قوامون على النساء." The men are in charge of the women. So
yes.
If a man have a fight with his wife, he is the one should deal with it, right? Not somebody else, correct?
Yeah.
Read with me this. Muhammad. Let us choose different translation just to make it more simple. Because this guy, he had too much spice. Here we go. Muhammad, he have a fight with two of his wives, Hafsa and Hafsa and Zainab, I think. So the Quran making a story about it, that if those two women, they don't repent, who is going to take the side of the Prophet? Because two of them, they are against the Prophet. Look how many. If you don't turn into repentance to him who? Allah. Your heart are indeed inclined, which means you became a kafir. Look who is going to take the side of Muhammad in this fight with two women. And if you back up each other against him who? Muhammad, truly Allah is his protector.
Yeah.
Okay, is that enough? No. And Jibreel. What Jibreel have to do with this? What Allah have to do with this? I mean, the guy, he have a fight with his two wives. Why Allah this guy is talking like if the Roman, they are sending him a letter, says we will have a war with him. I say, I understand. This guy is going to face an army. He needs God to help him. Muhammad is fighting with two women. They are 5 foot tall. Truly Allah is his protector, and Jibreel and every righteous one among the believer. And furthermore, all the angels. Do you see what happened here?
Yeah, I see. What's the verse number of this?
This is chapter 66, verse number 4.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I see.
So what happened here, my friend? Listen, be careful. The same as what happened before. We have Muhammad. We will make another circle. And we have Muhammad in the middle. Muhammad now needs protection from two women. So who is involved with this fight? Muhammad, he got the following names. Jibreel. We will call him J. And Allah, we will call him A. And Muslims, we will call them M. And all the angels in the world. Who's left?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah,
This guy, he became the center of the universe. Look like this universe have nothing to do with except Muhammad and his two wives.
Yeah,
God, who
okay.
created the universe, he have nothing to do except supporting Muhammad in his fight with his two women. Not only that, and Jibreel, he will come in a special mission. He will take side with Jibreel, I'm with you. You know? Jibreel, please protect me from those two women. Jibreel have 600 wings. Extremely huge angel according to Muhammad, to the point he covered the horizon. Is that enough? No. And every single believer, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Mujahideen from everywhere, Pakistan, Indonesia, you name it. And not enough. And furthermore, all the angels. All of this to support a guy in his fight with two women.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe Allah's trying to. He's sending a message.
Our friend, the messages, no problem. He can say to them, obviously, you see, look, Muhammad, what he's doing. Muhammad is here taking advantage of God. Anytime he needs something, he used God's name to control them. He could not control them no more, so he told them Allah is against you. But look what he did. By making it the way he did it, he make it too much exaggeration. It's obvious it is a lie. Because he can say, Allah said you have to repent, and that's it. Right? We do not need the rest. And if you go against him, Allah is his supporter. Jibreel is his supporter. The believer is his supporters, and the angels are going to be in his back. What is this is about? Are we going to is that the end of the time? Is that a judgment day where two armies are huge are going to destroy? It's two women.
Yeah. Well, so what's your point? I know. So I'm saying.
My point is that Muhammad, he is the center of Islam, and the rest is just character, like in the stage. You know, you put the decoration.
That is obviously very important.
No. Not obviously is important. He is God. He is the God. Everything serve him. God, he serve him. Allah, he serve him. Jibreel serve him. The believer serve him. Everything exists is for him.
But not everything in the Quran is benefits the Prophet.
What do you mean? Did Muhammad, he make verses saying any Muslim woman, she can give herself to the Prophet so he can do boom boom with her?
I don't. That's in the Quran or the Hadith?
Yeah, this is in the Quran. Chapter 33, verse number 50. Any woman, she offer herself to the Prophet, and this is only a privilege to thee. Why Allah will make a special privilege for boom boom privilege? Muhammad already have 13 wives, thousands of sex slaves. Why he need to say that Allah said to me, it is lawful for you the following women. Look how many counting here. I mean, this, you get dizzy. O Prophet, we made lawful for you the wives. Well, thank you for telling me. I'm sleeping with them since the last century. I mean, this is silly actually to say to me that. Imagine I'm sleeping with those women since the last century, and now you say to me, I made it lawful for you, your wives. Or they are already his wives. What are you talking about? Don't you think it's too late? And whom has paid their door, and whom your right hand possess, which means the slaves you own. Anyone you slave you own, you can jump on her. And the prisoner of war, and whom Allah assigned to thee. It's Allah assigned to you. This is a sign of Allah to take off their panty. And the daughter of your uncle, and the daughter of the partner uncle, and the daughter of your auntie, and the daughter of blah, 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 and the daughter of the daughter, and any believing woman she offer herself to the Prophet. And look what they say in Arabic, in English here. And any believing woman who dictate her soul, her soul. I thought people dictate their soul to God.
Wait, where does it say?
Which one for you?
Where's the sword?
It says there in English.
Oh, okay, okay. Dedicates her soul to the Prophet wishes to God, who is young for women, not for the believers.
It's a privilege only. This is always a privilege only to Muhammad. So do you see how he used God so he can make his own privilege, and most of them they are about sex and money? What does this have to do with God, my friend? What do you think? What does this have to do with God? Why God is saying any woman she can give herself to the Prophet? I mean, you told me that it's okay for you to do muta. Okay. Now, what this is about? A woman, she has given herself as a gift to a man to sleep with him, and this is not for everybody. That's just Muhammad. Why Allah is so much concerned about the happiness of the private part of Muhammad?
Well, he's the messenger.
So if I'm a messenger, that involves my private part? So now if I'm a messenger, I just say I'm Muhammad now, and there's like 1 million women watching me. I say, hey women, send me a message. Who want to sleep with me? Who want to give herself to me? My name is Muhammad. Is that what you're saying? So because I'm a messenger, I can sleep with all those women? What does that mean? What does that have to do with God? Is Muhammad a servant of God, or is he a servant? He's a private part.
Servant of God.
Okay, so what does have to do with him? Why Allah? Do you know what we say when you say Allah is God? What does that mean? Imagine all those galaxies. You know how huge, massive the universe is. So imagine we are not even a dust, and the God who created all of this, he is writing a verse about women taking off her panty to Muhammad. Don't you find that this is something very fishy?
I do, yeah, but in the same way, I find it like if you talk about the Bible and you start talking about how God cares that we, mix fabrics, or we care with these little things, it's the same thing with all many of the books talking about.
No.
The Bible has stuff like that.
No. The Bible does not have a stuff like that. Let me explain to you what you're talking about.
Don't eat whatever. Don't eat.
This is the law of surviving. This is not the law which is God gave to Moses. God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, and then Moses, he is the leader of his nation. So in order to survive, he gave them orders to follow. He's a king and he is a prophet in the same time. So don't get close to the camp if you want to do poo-poo. But this has nothing to do with God. This is about hygiene and how to preserve yourself. Because you do. I think I lost him. So when Moses he gave those command, it was to preserve his nation from being sick and ill and etc. But this is not God that's talking about those things. So here we have a prophet who is subjugated. And okay, why Moses did not make a verse says any woman she want to give herself to Moses? Here we go. Moses is a prophet. Why Isa did not do the same? Why Abraham did not make the same? Why any of them did not make the same as Muhammad? Why Muhammad is unique when it's come to sex and money?
Maybe they did. They just don't have their words.
No, show me where. Neither in the Bible, neither in the Quran it says that. The only story in the Quran showing it's about David, and David in the Bible is condemned by God. David in the Bible accused David to be a criminal. his hand is full of blood. While in the Quran, the story is there is amazing. So why this man is subjugating God for his benefit?
Yeah, see, I see what you're saying. But there's, it's maybe, it's in there for a reason. It's, and obviously a lot of people believe, so that's,
All right.
I just have to read into it more. I gotta read the tafsir, I gotta,
In chapter 36, verse number 21, it says, obey those who ask no reward for themselves. Do you see it?
I follow those who yeah, I see it, yeah.
Okay. So we should not follow Muhammad then. Those are verses in the Quran about money. Muhammad, he take the best of the booty. Safiyu al-Maghnam. Muhammad, he take the fifth of the booty. The best of the women. Muhammad, he made himself above all mankind. Any woman she can offer herself. Muhammad, he can marry a woman without even paying her, which means without even marriage. He just take her to bed. So the Quran itself, contradicting the Quran, the Quran says, and by the way, those verses is about the disciple of Jesus. This is a chapter 36, verse number 21. 3 messengers were sent by Isa, supposedly the Messiah, and one of them is Paul, and the second is John, and the third is Peter. So those three, they said, to those who they are speaking to them, obey those who ask no reward of you for themselves. So this is the guideline. If somebody is decent, he will not ask for a reward for his own benefit. Do you agree with this logic? This is a good ethic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why Muhammad is not following this ethic?
Word. So what you mean? He never. What would he ask for money?
My friend, the Quran says that the fifth of the booty is for Muhammad. Al-khumsu lillahi wa rasulih. You never heard of that before?
Oh no, yeah, I have.
Okay, you haven't or you have?
I have.
Okay, so the fifth of the booty, and the best of the best of the booty, and verses about any woman she want to give herself to the Prophet. So why Muhammad is not following the guideline? Did you hear me? Hello? Hello?
You're cutting out a little bit.
All right. This is chapter 8, verse number 41. It says that Allah, he says in chapter 8, verse number 41, and know whatever of your war booty that you may gain, verily 1/5 is assigned to Allah and the Messenger. Right? And this is a theft anyway.
Yeah.
So, right? So how we can make two verses work? One saying that to follow, yeah, he have a bad connection. You can tell, maybe he's in the Middle East or something like that. So obey those who ask no reward for you. Right? And this is what even Paul, he was saying. Like, they accuse him of lying. He says, if my lies is to glorify God, what lie I am doing, right? I'm not asking for any reward for myself. This is from the Bible, actually. Muhammad is copying it. If we go to the interpretation, we will find that this is about Paul and Peter and John. So ask not or follow not those who ask you for reward. But Muhammad did not follow this verse. Muhammad did the opposite. No, he's an Arab. He's not an Indian. How is an Arab Indian? You're funny. Call me back, my friend. So how this book can be the book of the truth? This is a book of the truth. Not to mention or forget to mention the stupid stories, flying carpet, mistakes in history, amazing mistakes in science. Have you ever heard of a God you do not know how the hair is created? How the rain is created? Have you ever heard of a God you don't remember which one he created first? The stars or the trees? One verse says the trees first and the stars next, and the other verse says the stars first and the trees next. Yeah, I think this guy, he will leave Islam soon. Let us call him back.
Hello?
Yeah, yes, my friend, go ahead. So what do you think, my friend? Do you think Muhammad is a prophet still? I have a bad phone, bad connection. David, one more time you say that, I will go on to block you. You are serious. We are not joking around now. Do you hear me, my friend? Mr.
No,
Dean? You have a bad connection. It's okay. Obviously, he's listening and he's learning. They will leave Islam very soon, as the rest of them. So where is Muhammad, and where is the prophecy, and where is the prophet? Okay, and you call him a prophet. Where is the prophecy? Here we go. This is the Quran. Who want to show me a prophecy in the Quran? Who is a Muslim want to show me a prophecy in this book? Who is a brave Muslim? He is willing to call me and say, hey, I'm going to show you a prophecy. Do you remember the chapter? It's called the chapter of the Kafirun, which the Muslims always recite for us. In Arabic, the name of Jesus, there's no Arabic name for Jesus. It is Yeshua, which is the same as Yeshua. This is the Hebrew name. There's no name in Arabic. If you go to a chapter of Al-Kafirun, this chapter alone is enough, and the Muslims always, they mention to us this chapter, Al-Kafirun. They are so excited to say it to us. Look what it says. O you kuffar, I worship not that you worship, but those people, they worship Allah already. Those pagans, they worship Allah. So what do you mean you don't worship what I worship? Number one, stupid mistake. Nor I worship, you worship what I worship. But they worship Allah and he worship Allah. And I will not worship that which you worship. And look here, what he said. Nor you will worship that which I worship. And anyone knows why this is a disaster? This verse alone? Who knows why this is a disaster? Who remember why? Let us see how many of you is doing his homework. Why this verse is a disaster? Big disaster. Because he said to the pagans, who he is one of them too, you will never worship his God. But all of them later, they became Muslims. You see? How you say to them, and you will never worship what I worship? If Muhammad is a prophet, he should say, and you in the future, you will see, you will worship what I worship. That will make it a prophecy. But Muhammad, he said, and you will worship ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد. Muhammad, he got himself busted. What do you mean, repeat again? Muhammad saying that the Arab, who they are not rejecting Islam, they will not worship what he worshiped. But later, those who he said that to them, all of them, they became Muslims. So this was a false prophecy from a false prophet. And supposedly the one is talking here is Allah. So there is no way Allah is God, yet he do not know that those people in the future, they will become Muslims. Any Muslim? So those Muslims who come to us, let us summarize again what we learned today from the beginning. What we learned today? We learned that when a Muslim, he come to you, and he come and he say, the Bible is corrupted. Don't defend. Don't start quoting verses from the Bible. Yes, Dean.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh.
Yeah. So, my friend, what do you think about Muhammad? Do you think he's a prophet?
Now he could. He could still be a prophet. I mean, what you showed me, it's possible that Allah just gave him special rules, which is not.
Okay.
Okay.
What make a prophet a prophet?
What makes a prophet a prophet? Prophecies.
But like what? Give me a prophecy. We have the Quran in front of us. If there's any prophecy in the Quran to make Muhammad a prophet? Do you see the verses we are showing on the screen? The Kafirun?
Yeah, I see him.
Okay. If you go and read the interpretation, you will see that those people who Muhammad, he said that verse to them, all of them, they became Muslims later. So this is a false prophecy. How he said to them, nor you will worship that which I worship, and later all of them became Muslims.
Nor will we worship, nor not worship that which you have done right. Worship, nor will you worship that which. So he's saying, you won't worship which I worship, and then they become fake Muslims so they don't get killed.
If I say to you, you will never become a Christian, and then after 2 months, and I claim to be a prophet, and then after 2 months you became a Christian, that's mean I'm a false prophet. Because a prophecy, if you say something, prophesy something, it have to be true. Yeah, but this is a false prophecy.
Well, who is he talking to here? No,
People of Quraysh, people of Quraysh, is it right? The Arab, but all of them, they became Muslims in his time, not after, in his time, during his lifetime. Okay, what the prophecy Muhammad he gave in the Quran? Do you remember anything? Forget about this one. Do you remember anything Muhammad he said became a prophecy, come to be true in the Quran? I will help you. Have you ever heard the Muslim saying that Muhammad he prophesied that the woman after they lost they will win?
He said, yeah, he said that the Romans were defeated, or the world were defeated.
Okay, this is chapter 30. The Romans have been defeated in the close by land, and after a few years they will defeat. They will be victorious. In Arabic it says بضع سنين. See, بضع سنين. The word بضع is between 3 to 10. Based on the history, that will be wrong, because it took many years after that, more than 16 to 17 years for the Roman to accomplish. However, the hadith says, and this is what the Muslim they say to us, remember, it's not me. The hadith says that Muhammad, he said that verse after the Roman became victorious.
Oh.
So how this can be a prophecy?
No, yeah, this is not a prophecy.
Okay.
The Roman Empire has been defeated and the ranks are scarred. Yeah, no, this is
Give me a second, I will show you the hadith.
the last thing.
Because Muslims, they keep talking about this verse. They say, brother, this is amazing how the Prophet, he knew that. First, the calculation is wrong. Secondly, even the hadith says that we have a problem here. Second. Are you talking from the Middle East?
No, I'm in the US.
Why you have a very bad connection?
I don't know.
All right. Let us see. I'm just trying to find you the hadith. For some reason, it's not opening with me. But I will get. Just to show you how Muslims, they say things, it doesn't make sense, and it's not even honest when they say it. Or maybe some of them, they say it without knowledge, you know. Many Muslims, they speak without knowledge. All right, here we go. We found it finally, thank God. Sometimes you want something, it doesn't come. All right. Let us put it on the screen. Do you see the screen?
I see your books right now.
All right. What about now?
No, I still see your books.
It's okay. We'll take a little bit of time to come to you. It says here that in the day of Badr, the Roman had victory over the Persian. So the believers were pleased with that. Then the following verse was revealed. So the claim that this was a prophecy, Muhammad, he said that verse before it was a lie.
Yeah. Okay, I still, can you give me which hadith it is? I want to read it.
This is Jami' al-Tirmidhi and it is Sahih.
It's Sahih?
Yeah.
Oh, here. So the the believers were pleased with them, the families were ruled, and if not me, the women's have been defeated. And the day of Badr, women's are defeated. Yeah, okay. I see.
What?
Sorry, mate.
Looks heavy.
Delivery.
This says block 2. It's over there, mate.
So the verse revealed after the Roman was defeated, not before. So what, I will tell you a prophecy. I'm a prophet now. Trump, he will win the election in 2016. Yeah, this is what Muhammad is saying. I mean, what is the prophecy here? The guys already, they are victorious. So where's the prophecy?
Well, okay, well, I don't. Where did he say that they will? It says the Romans have been defeated.
Yeah, and after the defeat, they will be victorious.
Oh, okay. He said that we will have the victory. Yeah. But I don't really. This one I don't hear is the big.
Forget about this. Did you hear about the Muslim? They say that there is science in the Quran.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what can you give me? Do you remember anything?
There's the Big Bang and biology.
Choose one. Which one? Which one? Give me one, and we will talk about it.
The Big Bang.
Big Bang. What is the Big Bang? Do you know what the Big Bang is?
Yeah, all the matter in the world was in one ball, and then 13 billion years ago expanded.
Okay. There's explosion, correct?
It was an explosion,
Yeah. But you see, the Muslims, they quote for us this verse in the Quran saying this is about the Big Bang. Don't the unbelievers see that the heaven and the earth were joined together? Okay, does it say here, don't they see?
What's the verse? What's the verse number?
Chapter 21, verse number 30.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Okay. Don't the unbelievers see? Okay, so he's talking about something they can see, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Did any of us see the Big Bang?
No.
Okay. ألم يرى? Didn't they see? Correct? Didn't they see? أولم يرى الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما. So didn't you see? So Allah is speaking about something He can see, not something happened in the past. You know, I mean, we can witness for it now. I mean, at least we can see how it is now. So what the Quran is speaking about, that the earth and the heaven, they used to be together, and Allah, He lift up the sky.
I don't think. I think you're taking it too literally.
No. Let us show you that this is what it's meant. You see, I don't say things I don't know, by now you should know that I don't say things unless this is how it is according to Islam. Okay? Allah, He lift up the sky. You know that?
I mean, I see it. It says, no, it doesn't say وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ.
Yeah, this is a different verse. Chapter 13, verse number 2. It says, Allah is He who raised the heaven without pillars that you can see. Do you see it?
Yeah. Who erected the heavens without
So
pillars.
connect this verse to this verse, you will find that they are saying the same.
Whoa. Should connect it.
Yeah. Don't the believers see that the heaven and the earth are used together? Okay, what He did? He lifted up the heaven. He separated them.
He established Himself above the firmament. He erected the heavens. The heavens, Sama. He raised. But this is different. I don't see the connection.
The connection is that the earth and the heaven, they used to be connected, correct? In the previous verse.
Yeah.
This one here is saying, Allah, He raised it up. This is how He split it. Allah, He raised up the heaven.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
But let me ask you, is that true that that the heaven is raised above us?
no.
So this is a lie. How God, He says, I think we are not even a dust inside the space, inside the heaven, if we can call it heaven, correct?
Correct.
So we are the heaven is not lifted from us. We are inside it. We are little tiny. It's not even like the size of a needle, the head of a needle, inside the heaven. So how He lifted up? But because this is how Muhammad He say things. The earth and the heaven, they are not connected. The heaven is up, the earth is down. So the heaven is up, but this the truth is not right. The heaven is up, the heaven in the right, the heaven in the left, the heaven underneath of us.
Send by flood away helps me to keep a very close tab on my family when it comes to sending money. And this is just the easiest way for me to keep in touch with my family, and it's just one click away. That's why I send.
Because the earth is not a flat, and there's heaven around us all over.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, that's right.
So this is a very false
No.
statement.
Yeah, so that's it's. I think you're taking this too literally.
My friend, I am not the one. You see, you have to read the interpretation of the Muslims. Okay, look at this. Allah, He is the one الذي مد الأرض. مد. What the word مد mean? Okay, but this is mean it's flat, correct? In Arabic, we say the madda is the carpet.
Yeah.
Okay, so He made the earth a carpet, and then He placed in the top of the earth mountains. Does it say that?
Yeah.
Okay, but is it true that mountains are something placed in the top of the earth, or the mountains are coming from the magma?
They come from the tectonic plates pushing against each other.
Well, there's two ways. Either it's a volcano, which is the magma, or it is the tectonic plates because of a pressure between them. This is correct. But which means in both ways, it's coming from inside the earth, not something we place in the top of the earth, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so the Quran here is giving false prophecy. Muhammad prophesying how God, He made the earth, He placed mountains firm in the top of the earth.
He's not saying that's because it looks that way. It's not literally.
No, my friend, this is literally. It's about how God He's speaking about mountains, how He created them. This is not. It's not up to you. And you can read the Muslim interpretation. This is not my interpretation. You can read Ibn Kathir. You can read Al-Qurtubi. Okay, you see, I will take advantage of one thing. That's because you know Arabic. You know the hail, right? Al-barad.
Oh, hell, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
How the hail is created?
It's cold air. I don't know exactly.
So you don't believe that hail is something God He break from mountains in heaven?
From mountains in heaven? I mean, no.
Okay. So read with me, because you keep saying to me you are taking it literally. Read with me. Then give me that. Here we go. ألم ترى أن الله يزجي سحابا ثم يؤلف بينه ثم يجعله ركاما فراق ودقا يخرج بينها. Then he says وينزل من السماء من جبال فيها من برد فيصيب به من يشاء. Allah is talking how He make the rain, and now He's talking how He make the ice. Okay, where the ice is coming from? You speak Arabic?
Yeah.
Okay. He send the hail from mountains, and because he keeps saying to me, you are taking it literally. Okay, let me show you what the Islamic scholar says. Whatever the Muslim scholar they say, I will take it. No problem. Here we go. Just to show you, this is what it's meant. That's not me saying this and saying that. So if we go to the Quran interpretation, which is made by the Muslims, not by me, we will find the following. Let us see what it says. This is a chapter 24, verse number 43. And we will show it interpretation according to Islamic understanding, not ours. We don't do what the Muslims do. Muslims, they try to explain the Bible to us the way they like. We don't do that. We show them what they themselves they see about those verses.
Yeah.
Okay, let us see. Verse number 43, and here. All right. You heard of Al-Jalalain, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. This is Al-Jalalain, and this is the official government website of the Kingdom of Jordan. Let us see what it says. And He sent down from the heaven out of the mountains min jibal, mean extra, that there is in the heaven. Does it say that?
Yeah, it says that.
Okay. So Allah is sending hail from mountains in heaven. How God, He do not know even how hail is made?
Yeah. So,
We can change the interpretation. Maybe this guy is wrong. I mean, people make mistakes. Maybe this guy, he have a wrong understanding. Here we go. This is Ibn Abbas, the cousin of your prophet. All right? It says, and then he says, and then He sent down hail from mountains in heaven.
yeah, that's not right.
Okay, but this is God.
Yeah.
And God is saying to us how hail is made, how rain is made.
Yeah.
How this can be true. If this is God talking and this is wrong, that means Allah cannot be God.
Yeah.
Give me another miracle, scientific miracle. Forget about all of this. Until now, we prove nothing to you. No problem. Yeah, it's okay. I have patience. Tell me, give me another one. I'm here. Will you enter the mall? Go ahead. I'm here in your service, my friend D.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, I heard there's unique fingerprints.
Fingerprints, no problem. But I want to show you today how, my friend, with my respect to you, you're a Muslim, and I'm not trying to insult you. I don't mean you when I say Muslims, they lie. But they lie. Your brothers in real religion, they lie. You speak Arabic, so how this can be, how they can fool you, my friend? Here we go. This is about the word binan. Okay, let us see what the verse says. Chapter 75, verse number 4. It says, aren't we able to put together His fingertips? But this is about His bones. The fingertips is the bones. This is not about fingerprints. What a fingerprint? Allah saying, here we go. Does the man think we cannot assemble his bones? No, we can. Even his fingertips, we can.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't say fingerprint.
So they lie. You see, it's about bones. They make it about the skin. But they are assuming nobody will go and check, and nobody have a brain to people, they take it like, it's like a fast food, McDonald's, take sandwich, give sandwich, brother. Prophet said, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. Takbir, takbir. No, this is the comedy we see. Nobody want to use his brain for a second.
Yeah, I'm looking through these translations. A lot of them, I'm trying to read the Arabic, and they keep adding stuff.
The Arabic is so clear. أيحسب الإنسان أن لن نجمع عظامه بلى قادرين على أن نسوي بنانه. So he's talking about, do you think that human think we cannot put his bones together? No, we can, even his bones, because the fingers, they are very small. Like, maybe you can put the big bones together, but those are very small, they're with the hands, So that's what it says. And look how they fabricate, just to make it look like as a science. So the verse is speaking about, and not only that, we can go to the interpretation. Let us go to the interpretation, because maybe Christian Prince, you get it wrong. Maybe you get it wrong too. Let us see if there's a fingerprint here. Chapter 75, verse number 4. I mean, those who make those claims, they are official liars. They are liars with certificate of PhD. They have no shame. Here we go. This is Tafsir Ibn Abbas. Is it about bones?
Yeah, it seems like it.
So why they lie?
I don't know. See, I hear this stuff from just my parents and.
Okay, my friend Dean, forget about this one, man. Maybe we can find something else. Give me one other one. Hit me. I will stay with you until the coming year. And I guarantee you, every one you give me is going to be busted, and everybody, and including you will laugh with me at it.
I'm watching you do now, yeah. I don't know. There's so much. The embryology. That's the best.
That's wonderful. The embryo. What is that? Which verse do you know? There's many verses. Let me help you. Maybe you are talking about this one where it says alaqa, the one about the alaqa. Is that the one?
Yeah. Okay,
but this is a hilarious verse. Thank you for mentioning. But now, me and you now, we will have heart attack from laughing. Read it carefully. Yeah, read it carefully. This is the Quran, and this is what the Muslim translation is, not my translation. It says, then we made the nutfa. What is a nutfa, Dean?
The nutfa is this the nutfa is the sperm.
That's wonderful. We made the nutfa into a congealed blood, alaqa, a thick of a congealed blood. Okay, do you agree with that, Dean? Have you ever heard of a scientist says that the baby is made from nutfa, and the nutfa will become a baby, and that how it happened? The sperm became blood, and then the blood became a lump, and then the lump became a flesh or bones. What is that? In which science is that? Where we can find this science? The sperm of the man go to the women and fertilize the egg. The one will grow is the egg. It's not the nutfa, correct?
Well, yeah, there's the egg. Yeah.
The egg will become the one cell. It's a big cell. The cell became two. The two became three, etc. So it's not the sperm will become. What this guy is talking about? He's saying that the sperm of the man will become a congealed dead blood.
Now, yeah, but it's not wrong.
It's wrong, my friend, because the sperm does not transform to be anything to do with the baby. The sperm activate the egg and deliver the DNA message, and that's it. It dissolves. According to the Quran, what is the first stage? At the first stage, you are a sperm, correct? Then you became a blood. Go on, check from now until the coming year and find who is the scientist who will say that the first stage is a blood.
I mean, there is blood.
Offender, yeah, for sure we will have it, but not the sperm will become a blood. I mean, the blood, you will have a blood after you have a system. You should have nerves first.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so you have to have. You have to have veins. So, like when we have a blood, we have a supply. The blood is a supply, correct? And that is something will provide us with food and oxygen, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, but here in this stage, there's no need for food. I mean, the food is provided in different way from the womb of the woman. The egg is connected, even after you are born, still you are connected to the mother, right?
Right.
So here he's saying that the sperm became conjugated blood. Let me show you another verse. Okay. Do women have a sperm?
Do women have no?
Okay. Chapter 86, verse number 6 and 7 says that there's a gushing fluid, sexual fluid, coming from the backbone of the man and the ribs of the women. Where do you think the sperm of the man is coming from?
Sperm from the man. It's coming from the testicles.
Well, you are very close, but let us go here. According to the Quran, no. The sperm of the man is coming from the backbone. And women have a sperm, and it's coming from her ribs.
Yeah, I mean, no.
What?
I don't see women here. Where do you see men?
No, the word taraib in Arabic is the location of the necklace of the women. It is a word that has to do with the ribs of the women, and specifically the location of the women necklace. This is what taraib means. موقع القلادة. ترائب الصدر هي العظام الرقبة التي تقع فيها القلادة. موقع القلادة من الرقبة للمرأة. So it comes from between the backbone of the man and the ribs of the woman. How is that? What kind of God do you think that the sperm is coming from a backbone, which is the last bone in your spine, and women have a sperm coming from her ribs? You know, let us go and see the interpretation. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah.
No problem. Here we go. This is chapter 86, verse number 7. Let us go to Ibn Kathir. You heard about Ibn Kathir, right?
Yeah, he's the big one.
Yeah, he used to be in my school.
Oh.
Here we go. This is Ibn Kathir. Let us see what Ibn Kathir he said. Now the Muslim, they will say to me, what the Muslim they will say not now, they will say Ibn Kathir is an idiot. They will say, I don't understand it. Yes, they will say that, but just to save Muhammad from being exposed, they will say anything. Look at this. This is Ibn Kathir, and he is explaining the verse. Let us see what it says. He is created from a water gushing forth, meaning sexual fluid that comes out bursting forth from the man and the women. Thus the child produced from both of them. Okay, wonderful. Now he continues and proceeding from between the backbone and the ribs, meaning the backbone of the man and the ribs of the women. Referring to hairy chest. And here the translation is not accurate. It's not hairy chest, it is the location of the necklace. What do you think? Do you agree that women, she have a sexual fluid which make the baby? And it's coming from her location of the necklace of the chest?
She has, yes, she has a part, but it's not the right location. No, it's not from the necklace.
The woman have a sperm, my friend?
No sperm, no.
Yeah, but this is what it says. It says the baby, it says gushing fluid. It's a gushing forth liquid. It's a fluid. Do you see it?
Yeah,
it's a sexual fluid. So this cannot be the egg, because the egg is not sexual fluid. It's not even a fluid. All right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, Muhammad himself, he explained that. That's why Ibn Kathir, he read for us that the Prophet said. Let us see what the Prophet said. there's a hadith where Muhammad said, explain something. Let's see. Where is the hadith? I hope they did not take it off, because they do that. The Muslims, they are trying, yeah, they do that actually. There's a hadith where Muhammad, it's in Arabic, I can show it in Arabic. What happened to the hadith? Okay. Here we go. Actually, this is the hadith. This is the hadith from Muhammad. Proceeding from between the backbone and the ribs, the backbone of the man and the ribs of the women, and here he takes the explanation from Muhammad. The fluid is yellow and fine in texture. The child will not be born except from both of them, i.e. their sexual fluid. So what Islam teach, that the woman, she have a sexual fluid in her private part. That is a sexual fluid, which is the sperm of the woman, which is coming from the location of the necklace in her ribs. Do you agree with that?
No.
Okay. And do you agree that this sexual fluid, which is yellow and fine in texture, is the one who will make the baby?
No.
Okay. And the man have a sexual fluid which is thick and white. And this is what Muhammad, he said in the hadith. Let me show you the hadith so you don't say I'm making things up. This is the hadith of Muhammad saying the following.
Where is the hadith coming from?
As usual. From the box of the hadith. Here we go. This is your prophet explaining the same thing. And this is Sahih. I came to the prophet. Okay, no, this is not the one. Here we go. Let me show you the Sahih. Here, the hadith saying, Anas ibn Malik reported from Salim, narrated, blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyway. Then it says, in case that the woman sees that she must take a bath, she sees what? She sees a dream. She has this charge. When a man sees sexual dream, and the woman sees sexual dream, he says, upon this, she asked him, a woman, she said to him, what I will do if I see, I have orgasm. He said, upon this, he says, the wife of the prophet, he says, does really this happen? Because the wife of the prophet, she never had orgasm. So she looked like Muhammad is not doing a good job in the bedroom. Otherwise, Muhammad, he says, yes, it does happen. Otherwise, how can a child resemble her? Man discharge, i.e. sperm, is thick and white. And the discharge of the women is thin and yellow. Do you see it? So the one resemble comes from the one who, his orgasm comes first. In different hadith, the translation is more accurate. It says, the one who comes first, he controlled resemble the look of the baby. Here we go. This is the hadith, and this is Sahih. Read it. The messenger of Allah said, the man water is thick and white, and the women water is thin and yellow. Which of them comes first? That child will resemble the parent.
Yeah, that. I don't think that's not right. Is the hadith is Sahih?
Yeah, Sahih. This is very Sahih.
But I mean, yeah, I don't.
Well, my friend, Dr. Muhammad, he knew best. Come on, we have to admit, me and you. Dr. Muhammad, this is why if I get married, because by the way, I look very ugly. So if I get married now, I know, because I don't want my son to look like me, and he will shoot me. Actually, he will shoot me immediately after the second he is born. So you look at me like he might go back where he came from after he see me. So what? By the wisdom of the Prophet, Alhamdulillah, now I will never have orgasm first, because I want my son to look like his mother. Actually, he will not like his mother, because he can't be a son. Because Muhammad here, he mean too, not only resemble as a look, resemble as a gender. I can show you the other hadith. It says, so if the one who comes first, if the man comes first, the baby will be a boy. If the women come first, the baby will be a girl. So according to the Majesty Dr. Muhammad, who is getting his knowledge from Allah, the women orgasm will decide, or the man orgasm will decide what the gender of the baby and how it will look like. But all of us, we knew that this is stupid. And look, Muhammad, he made it clear. He said the water of the man is thin, the water of the man white and thick, correct?
Yeah.
He called them both water. And then the water of the women is a thin and yellow. And which one of them come first, that water will decide how the baby look like and his gender. But all of us, we knew that the sexual fluid the woman she have in her private part, if she's having sex, this has nothing to do with the baby.
Yeah, nothing. And I remember another hadith that says Allah actually chooses the gender and then whether they're disbeliever or believer in the womb.
Exactly.
So I have to look.
Here Muhammad, he is getting himself busted. So you are helping me. I'm going to hire you as an assistant now. So because in that hadith it says that Allah, he sent an angel, right? And then he write the destiny. But look, Muhammad, in that hadith, you see, there's something I like about your prophet. He cannot keep his mouth shut. So look what he said. Do you know how long the sperm of the human being can live?
A couple of days, maybe?
5 days. Look what Muhammad said, my friend. I mean, your prophet is amazing. Look at this. Your prophet, he said, not me, remember, don't curse me. When the drop of semen remain in the womb for 40 or 50 days. Look, your prophet is very honest. Like he is not sure, like 40, 50. I don't remember what Allah told me, 50 or 40, 40 or 50. 40 or 50. I mean, what kind of a prophet this prophet is? Where he got the number 40 and 50 from? And then, so you stay. And by the way, it doesn't say, it says actually 40 or 50. And 40 or 50, you are the sperm. And then the angel come and he says, Lord, good or evil. The guy is a sperm. Now you are thinking so you are a sperm and now Allah is deciding what you will be. All right? In different hadith, actually, Muhammad, he said the following, which is getting more funnier. Because you are 40 days you see here, as a drop of semen, and then you became a clot of blood.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Allah will decide male or female. Do you see it? Last thing. You see it?
I see.
Male or female. So the last thing is the gender. According to science, actually, gender is decided right away by the sperm. The sperm, when it go inside inside the egg, fertilize, and that sperm decide the gender is not what he's saying. According to Muhammad, the last thing is the gender. Here you will see the same. You know. Look, all those hadiths, they are saying the same. Read this one with me. This one is fantastic. This one we can make movie, me and you, about it. If you have money, we can, we can ask Sylvester Stallone to be we make him go back. We make a cartoon movie like he was a sperm, Sylvester Stallone, and now he go in a mission and he stay as a sperm in the womb of the enemy for 40 days. Look at this. In the form of a semen for 40 days. Then became a clinging, it doesn't say, it says alaqa, a congealed blood. For the similar period, so you are now 40 days as a sperm, and then 40 days as a blood, and then 40 days as a lump of a flesh. And that's it, the total is 120 days, the baby is done.
Well, that's... Well, no, that's not right.
And this is reported by who? Both Al-Bukhari and Muslim.
Now the hadith, hadith is... well, I don't like the hadith too much.
The Quran, you see, I showed you the hadith to confirm what it says in the Quran, remember, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So because I want you to say, because you said to me you are taking it literally, etc. So I'm showing you, this is what the Muslims understand it, and this is what Muhammad himself he said.
Yeah,
Forget about this. Give me another miracle. Forget about this. But nothing is working. Nothing is working. What I can do. Maybe you never know. Maybe this one coming one is going to work. Give me another one. Just last one. But
The
this
last one.
Try to choose something that can hit me in the head, break my head to pieces.
Last miracle. I mean, the sky being the atmosphere protecting us.
That's wonderful, my friend. The Quran says the atmosphere protecting us.
From what I remember my parents telling me this, yeah.
My friend, you speak Arabic there, you should do better. The Quran says the opposite. The Quran says that Allah وَجَعَلْنَا السَّمَاءَ سَقْفًا مَحْفُوظًا. So what is protected is the sky, not the earth. From who? Let us see. And now you will die laughing with me. Don't die on me. Chapter 67, verse number 5. And indeed, we have adorned the nearest heaven with lamps, and we have made such a lamp as missiles to drive away shaitan. You see it? So we guarded the sky. He guarded from what? From shaitan. So it's the opposite. It's not, because the atmosphere is something in the space trying to get in the earth, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the opposite. Shaitan, he will try to go out of the heaven. Allah, he will shoot him. Now you might say to me, this is not clear for me. Can you confirm it? Let us confirm it in different verse. This is all his fairy tales, where Muhammad, he claimed that Shaitan, he tried to steal information from Allah. I don't know if you know about WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks, yeah.
Yeah, this is Allah. Shaitan, look. So, وَجَعَلْنَا وَحَفَظْنَاهَا, and we have set, we made the sky zodiacal signs in heaven, and we made them fair, seeming all beholder, and then and we have guarded those in the sky from every cursed devil. Do you see it?
We have guarded them from every cursed devil. Yeah.
Okay. But so if any try to gain hearing by steal from Allah, like he want to spy, is pursued by a flaming fire. This is the atmosphere they are talking about. You see how they lie to you?
If any that gains a hearing by stealth is pursued by a flame. Yeah.
This translation is really weird. Let's translating. Maybe you can get something more simple, because this guy, I don't know, sounds like he's taking too much beer. So we changed the translation here, it became different. And verily in the heaven we have set mention of stars, and we have beautified it for beholder. And we have guarded it from every outcast devil. We have guarded what? The sky. Save him who steals the hearing. And then the other verse, that the one connected with this one. If he tried to steal, Allah will shoot him with a star. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the atmosphere?
Yeah.
And here there's a mistake. You see, the same verse here, they say that this is about the atmosphere, but the verse saying that the stars is located in the nearest heaven. That's mean if this is, it says the lamps in the lowest heaven.
Okay, I see. The lamps misses.
And the shaitan, he live in the earth. So Allah, he shot shaitan by a star. Do you know how big the star?
Yeah, there's no.
This is all his fairy tales for kids. I mean, come on, you are smarter than this. Do you really believe in this? Shaitan, he will steal information from Allah. He want to spy. Allah shot him by. So Muhammad trying to explain what was those things we see in the sky, especially he live in the desert, so he can see a lot of it every night. They are living in the dark. There's no electricity. So anytime go outside, you will see the sky dark, black. You see nothing. So you look at the sky, he see those stars coming. He think those are shooting stars. He think those are really stars, and Allah shooting the shaitan trying to spy at Allah, brother. Boing, boing, like Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So where is the
Yeah, I don't see anything. See, the thing is, I don't look in. I just kind of hear what people tell me. I don't really look into actually reading the verse, but I'll have to go back and do some more reading, really try to understand. Yeah, you know your stuff, man.
let me see the sky سقفا محفوظا. Allah, He made the sky like a canopy in the top of a mountain called Qaf. You know do you know Qaf? You heard of Qaf?
No.
Okay, did you hear about the chapter? It's called Qaf in the Quran.
Oh, chapter? Yeah.
Qaf. Okay.
Yeah.
Qaf. If you ask a scholar, okay, what does Qaf mean? He says this is an azure mountain which is surrounding the earth from all direction. All right.
Okay.
So this is. Let us go and see the interpretation. Here we go. From the narration of his authority Ibn Abbas, this is Tafsir Ibn Abbas, chapter 50, verse number 1. It says the following: that he said the interpretation of Allah saying Qaf. He said Qaf is an azure mountain overlooking this world, and the color of the sky takes from it. Allah swear by it. Do you see it? So what happened is that this is a mountain. It's a blue, and it's surrounding the earth. The earth is a flat, and there's a wall fence. And then in the top of the fence, in the top of the wall, like a room, there is a dome. That is, or a roof. That is the sky. And the reason the sky is blue, because of that mountain, it's clear. I mean, what's wrong with you? Come on. Is it clear? Doesn't say that, or I'm saying that?
Yeah, and there's a man overlooking this world, and the color of the sky takes from it Allah's program.
Yeah. True story, brother. This is a pure science, Islamic science.
Yeah, I've never heard of this one, but yeah, that's
Do you have more miracles?
Well,
Come on, Dean, leave Islam, my friend. You are smarter than this. You're trying to, okay, well, obviously I can tell you, you yourself, you're not convinced for a second with this madness.
I've questioned it before, but I've never, I've never really actually looked into the miracles.
You bring me anything about this cult, this is the most silly, stupid cult ever you can imagine. You speak Arabic, so you have an advantage. You see, they can fool someone. He don't speak Arabic. He know nothing about Arabic. They can say things that not exist there or fabricate. But you speak Arabic. I mean, how is it?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I'm looking at the translation, and they're not. They keep adding stuff that's not in the Arabic. So
No. It is in the translation, correct? Yeah, but actually, but do you know that Ibn Kathir in Arabic is like disappear totally in English? There's hundreds of pages from Ibn Kathir in Arabic is taken away from the English translation. I can't find why. They took it off. Anything would look embarrassing for Muhammad. As an example, the story, if you go to read Ibn Kathir in English, read the story about Al-Gharaniq. You heard about Al-Gharaniq, right? When Muhammad, he says, the three daughters of Allah, their intercession at a mosque. So all the story there in Ibn Kathir, what happened exactly is gone. You open Ibn Kathir in Arabic, you speak Arabic, open Ibn Kathir in Arabic, open Ibn Kathir in English website, and read, you will see it's gone.